What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Jedi Jive. My name is Mike. We're going to do another Andor reaction, and joining us again is my sister Jenny.
Hey, everyone.
We have been really enjoying Andor so far. Last week was another great episode. You and I have been particularly enjoying all of the details in this show, and that we pointed out how so far nothing tremendously exciting has happened. We know that this heist is coming up that they have planned, so that we know that this is
Along
coming
with this
now.
celestial event that we've heard so much about. Both
Yes.
things should be happening today.
Yeah, so it's really exciting now. Like, okay, something exciting is about to happen. So we've built up to this point, and really we've just been kind of like writing on these details and these character development moments to really like hold our attention up until now. So so now there's something exciting is going to happen, but we still have these other storylines that we've started too that won't necessarily be completely connected, I assume, right away. Like we have the ISB lady Dedra.
Yep.
We have Karn and his mother and
Yep.
his new job. We have Mon Mothma and her daughter and her husband and like their family dynamic and how that's, its own thing. And then obviously Luthen is like on the sidelines kind of watching right now his
Yeah.
project go down.
And there's still all of his people back on Ferrix who we may see again
100%.
as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different threads that we're tracing through this.
Yes, loving it. I'm really excited. I'm actually like, let's just jump in and do this and then
I'm
we'll
ready.
talk about it after. See you guys then. Nice hat. There's a lot of the like handheld shaky cam kind of
It's natural.
feel.
It sort of indicates the rough and readiness of this crew.
I believe in something. Why am I so unsettled? I mean, you have nothing. The Empire has no moral boundaries. Why should we not take hold of every chance we can? Let them see how an insurgency adapts.
Well, you're half right. The Empire doesn't play by the rules.
So you think it's hopeless, do you? Freedom, independence, justice. We should just submit and be thankful.
Do I look thankful to you?
No.
You'll be fine. You'll sleep when it's done.
He told him, "You'll be fine." That's like saying, "I'll be right back" in a horror
Right.
movie.
I'll be right back!
It's a 10-day trek up from the lowlands. We offered them a transport because we know they'll refuse, but then along the way we've placed a series of comfort units, shelters and taverns with cheap local beverages. What began as 500 pilgrims at the bottom has already dwindled down to... Where are we now, Lieutenant?
We counted 60 last night, sir.
It is the sacred valley, is it not?
Well, ultimately they will return, won't they, Colonel? When you need plenty of arms and legs to build all you've got planned.
Will the Darners let us build our new facility in peace?
I don't see them having a choice.
The eye, Colonel. You're in for a treat. It really is something to see.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh my god!
Wow.
That was the most coldly cynical scene between a couple of
I know, right?
colonizers that I've ever seen.
I have expected a coffee mug to have like an Empire symbol on it.
Right?
Tonight must be perfect.
That's the plan, sir.
Perfect. I want that word ringing in your ears.
Little does he know.
He likes giving orders, doesn't he?
Makes sense, right? He was a stormtrooper.
Cool, man.
Pick it up! Should have been here when Cinta found out. They slaughtered our whole family. Pick it up!
Dude. That was this unplanned.
First thing that came to mind.
Was he peeing?
Sounds like it.
Oh, look at that.
Nice.
Roboda.
I'm dressing Leonard.
He's 12. He can dress himself. Come and look at this sash.
This is like the
His
mirror image of Mon
family.
Mothma.
Yeah.
Where's his Imperial blouse?
I'm not wearing that.
You'll do as you're told. Make an effort tonight. If it kills you,
He might have a fever.
you might feel the back of my
The
hand.
boy is ill, J-Hold.
He's always ill. So I want everyone on their best behavior this evening.
I look forward to seeing that.
Right? Right, that was like almost the exact opposite of Mon Mothma.
Yeah, and yet again, we're getting like the sort of backstory of one of the bad guys. He speaks their language.
Yep.
He must have learned it from
Yeah, they
the
might even
woman
know
he
him
fell in love
personally.
with.
If you don't bother them, they won't bother you.
Underwater.
Oh, that's what they're doing. Cool shot, too.
They have like a sled.
We trade goat hides for a 3-year lease. If they didn't smell so badly, it might be amusing. The Darnies have a rough appetite for fragrance.
Yes, I've been warned.
A bit of ceremonial nonsense and we can tuck into a fine table. Above the stench.
Wow.
Eesh.
Don't let Gorn catch you.
Kenzie Wing 7, returning to base.
Where is she? We're late.
Are you on point?
Yes. We're here. On point. Are we going or not?
Val.
Go. We go.
No turning back now.
Tell him we'll give him the gift of our absence and be on our way.
Nice. So Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Basically just like, F that guy.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
I want no one up here without my permission.
Will do, sir.
It'll all be much easier. The days of passing skins and ritual nonsense will be soon behind us. No great loss there.
Oh.
On the floor.
What's all this?
Drop it there.
What is the meaning of this?
Be quiet. Quiet. Stop talking.
Stop right there. Let the boy go.
Let the boy go.
Nobody has to die.
You'll never get out of here.
Backhanded.
You'll be taking us to the payroll vault,
That's insane.
or we die together.
I don't control the vault. It's on a code from the airbase. It's done remotely.
Keep lying and it'll be a short night for you. Lux, we need your hand to key the sensor. We can take just that if you'd prefer. One path, one choice. We win, or everyone dies.
Yeesh.
Jill, please just do what they say.
It's like that guy's an Imperial a-hole, but his wife and kid are like innocent, you know?
Yeah.
It's such an interesting perspective seeing our good guys feel like terrorists almost. Yeah. Oh, okay, she put a jammer on his equipment.
Against the wall.
We've been jammed.
Down.
Raspberry.
Raspberry.
Let's go! Move!
Where's this plan gonna go to shit, is the question.
Yeah, because it's can't just go smoothly. That wouldn't be good drama.
Yeah, the locals are just gonna have a party either way.
Yep.
Yeah. They're not missing the eye.
Don't touch, that's our Kenzie. That's the airbase link.
If you don't help us, your family will die. If you stall, if you argue, if you play us in any way, they will die.
You'll kill us anyway.
Because that's what you do, right? If we get what we came for, everyone walks away. But if we go down, you're right there with us.
14 minutes.
Tell me you'll be all right.
I'll be fine.
Not gonna end
I'll
well
be
for
right
at least
back.
one of you.
Stop it. No. Out.
This is not an inspection, it is a robbery! Move! They've already killed, and I am sure that they will do so again, which is why I am urging you to cooperate.
Enough!
Anyone doesn't want to hustle for the next 10 minutes? Raise your hand. All right, up! Up! Let's go!
Yeah, they're just like bank robbers, man. This whole heist has got this in the background, the locals doing their ceremonial.
Yeah.
I love it.
Fire
That'll work.
Are those all credits? Is that what that is?
Let's go!
Oh.
Oh.
This one guy wasn't meant to hear that.
Get ready. Mackenzie should be calling in soon.
I love this guy.
They're great.
The like Eldani chief guy.
Tower 1, please respond. A vault breach indicator light has gone off.
Remember the fire dance the Tuscans did with Boba at the end of that one Boba episode?
Yeah.
It's reminding me of that. Well, there are about to be some more bodies.
On both sides, I imagine.
They keep showing this one guy being difficult. That's not an accident. Oh, they put it out to make darkness so you can see the eye as best as possible. Oh, sick.
Wow.
Almost home. Everyone can go home. Let's move. I was afraid you'd be leaving. We need to be locking up.
Oh.
Last call.
You'll hang for this.
7 years serving you. I deserve worse than that.
All right. Sick shot. TIE pilot.
What's going on here? Sir, but this is a classified mission and you're not cleared to be here. Tell him he needs to leave. What is going on here? Sir.
Yep.
They'd only left just like 1 minute earlier.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oof. Oh. Why a black guy always gonna be the first one to die? I was gonna say, what about Terraman? Is he dead? Definitely can't have a dogfight in this thing.
Hang on!
Wow.
Oh! Yo!
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you got crushed.
Oh man.
I need a flight path.
What is that?
Med spike.
Spike. Like an adrenaline
Yeah.
shot.
Yep. Oh shit! Turn it up.
Beautiful shot.
Move, climb, now!
At least one of these ties is gonna get taken out.
Dive! Victor, 65551.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, there's two. Oh!
Is that all three of them?
That was all three of them. It's a strange moment of peace.
That's what I was just thinking. The soldiers are also entranced. Wow.
Where are we heading?
She wants to bail on him.
He's dying.
You don't know that. There's a doctor. We have it built into the contingency. She doesn't want to jeopardize the mission. This kid is the reason that we are here. He is alive.
How do we get to the doctor?
He has 4 arms.
Yeah.
Just a little casual spinal surgery.
You want to guess how much is in there? 80 million, give or take. You want to win and walk away. 40 million apiece. Don't tell me you haven't
Just
thought about
testing
it.
him.
Between the two of us, we could be the winners here.
It's not a rebellion for you.
Oh, I'm a rebel. It's just me against everybody else.
Your brother with the orchard?
I don't have a brother.
So just leave them here.
You're not here to save anybody but yourself. There's a moon 8 parsecs from here with nobody home. Put that thing down, catch our breath, split up the winnings. So this will...
He's gonna have to explain that to the others.
That's the 3rd time we've seen Cassian. Zero hesitation to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, and Nemec's dead.
Oh, that's sad.
Excuse me.
Where's Skeen? Skeen!
He's dead. He wanted to take the money and leave you here. I'm taking my cut. The number I was promised. I'm leaving you the freighter and what's inside. And I wouldn't stick around if I were you. Return this to your friend.
Nemec's manifesto.
He said to give this to you.
He insisted.
What happened to Cinta?
She must have had a separate plan to sneak off somehow.
I want every star sector and planetary emergency retaliation plan in the building ready for presentation by midnight.
Senator Dow's proposal is both temperate and
The Senate. Let's go.
Been hearing from the other side.
Oh, sick.
There will be a
This is
fact-finding commission
beautifully
put
shot.
in place this session. This is a boot to the throats of all Gormans who've done nothing more than request their basic rights.
Nobody's listening.
It's the coarse and blatant domination of a peaceful and faithful ally.
Oh, the word is out.
Yeah.
Got anything from Aldani?
Excuse me?
Aldani.
Big rebel attack last night. It's all the news.
Who's this now?
How to look?
No, it's just a random guy reading the paper or whatever.
Once again. Shh. This guy's so great.
Wow, man.
Wow.
I mean, like, he's laughing and chuckling like it all went down, but I mean, like, Vel and Cinta are the only ones that lived, right? Nemec died, Skeen died,
and Terraman.
Terraman might come back. They kind of left his body there.
Yeah, what about Gorn? Did we see what happened
He
to him?
could be alive. I don't know. And he was the one that they said was a stormtrooper. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he could maybe now even go back to being a stormtrooper, being like, you guys left me for dead or something. Who knows? But damn, dude.
So we got to see the heist.
Yeah, you know what? They didn't actually do any of the... We saw the ISB getting ready to, like, you know, get their men together or whatever, but that was just a real quick scene. Mon Mothma we just saw in the Senate briefly, really quick scene though. So we didn't do the alternate storylines. We didn't see Karn at all. It was all of this entire episode was the heist. Yeah, the entire time.
The thing is that even though so many of the crew ended up dead, ultimately that mission was successful.
Yeah.
They got away with the freighter full of credits and like stole 80 million in payroll from the Empire. So
whether or not that Colonel guy and his wife and son are gonna like come back into play at some point. Did they kill the colonel? Did they? Oh, he like
He
keeled
collapsed.
over dead.
He
Yeah.
keeled over. I don't know if he was dead or just exhausted.
Yeah,
It's unclear.
I think that means he's still alive because like I thought that was fascinating how they like were blatantly mirroring the Mon Mothma stuff,
situation.
except he was a bad guy and his instead of like
there were a couple really interesting
teenage
parallels
daughter
there.
talking back to her.
That
was
whole
son.
opening scene where we kept sort of going ugh, because he kept saying blatantly racist things about how they don't have a civilization worth saving,
and they stink, and they like
stink,
that,
and you know, just unbelievably cold, calculated. Like he was so matter of fact the way he was talking to the colonel about this entire people, this entire indigenous community. And what was really interesting was that like his family mirrors Mon Mothma's family, and at the end, in that short little clip of the Senate, what she was doing was arguing on behalf of a different indigenous people that is about to suffer the same fate as the Aldani people have suffered already. So she's being like this anti-colonial voice, this like pro-indigenous voice in the Senate. No one's listening to her because they're all hearing the news about the heist. But those two situations, the two families and the two sort of political opinions, mirrored each other in multiple ways.
Yeah, and they kind of did that like similarly with Karn and Dedra, where they kind of mirrored their situations a little bit. And the whole eye thing was obviously, that was beautiful, and I liked that moment where
that
you could
did
see
not
like
disappoint.
some Empire soldiers and some of the Aldanis were just standing there looking up at it for a moment. It was one of those like
it made me think, you hear stories about like World War II on Christmas where like people emerged from the trenches on, maybe it's World War I, but there's stories about soldiers emerging from the trenches and like singing Christmas songs in no man's
and
land,
then going right back to killing each other.
And then going right back to war again after that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But it gave me sort of the feeling of that, especially because the commandant had said all this stuff about how they're never going to get to see this event again, and we're going to put them to work, and there's something very ominous about like maybe this is the last time that these people are going to get to witness this spectacle. So yeah, but that the celestial event itself was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, it was some
really beautiful,
some really really cool shots. Like the TIE fighters with the the asteroids in the background, really really aesthetic looking and just cool. And they had Gorn talking to that guy like up on the top of the dam, and he didn't seem like a bad guy. Like in the previous episode, he was like smoking a cigarette, or as they call them in this universe, death sticks.
Right.
And he like chucked it. It was like I continue to like really enjoy how like the Colonel's wife and son, like they show how like some of the people in the Empire, they're not fundamentally bad people. They're just doing their jobs. They're just existing like anyone else is. And they even made a point to show that like that Colonel's son was like not a fan of the Empire. He's like, why aren't you wearing your emblem or whatever? And he was like, I'm not wearing that thing. Like, so clearly the son is not a fan of his dad.
Meanwhile, Mon Mothma is this person who's doing all kinds of good, or at least she's
and
trying
her
to.
daughter
and
is
her daughter
like,
can't stand her.
Yeah. That's that mirror image of that where I was like, wow, they really are like flipping the script here. So that's 100%. Why I think it might make sense then that wife and son might show up again. Because they made a point to show that mirroring.
Whether or not they do, it's just another example of them like giving dimension and motivation and just seeing what lies beneath these bad guys. They're not just treated as sort of nameless goons.
Yeah.
The people that we think of as like enemies or the bad guys have stories about like how they came to be the way they are and like what's going on in their lives.
There's more than just detail in the like set pieces and environment. There's like detail in the nuance,
the character building.
The characters. Yeah. And all the characters have ups and downs, and I was pointing out how it's like, wow, this is fascinating because when they were pointing their guns like at a woman and a kid, like shut up, it's a classic bank heist,
robbers.
Like with their president masks on or whatever, like Richard Nixon with the shotgun kind of. That's what it felt like. But it was like, wow, these are the good guys to us, but right now they look like terrorists. They're terrorizing this family, that woman and child.
It gives you the shades of gray that like nobody's entirely good or entirely bad, which is definitely a theme in Star Wars. We've even seen the redemption, ultimately of Darth Vader himself.
Yep.
In the films, so we know that like
Yeah, and
nobody is 100% evil.
Skeen was ready to like betray
good.
everybody just to like get some extra money there. Cassian took him out. I pointed out that that's now the third time we've seen Cassian not hesitate to kill somebody that was going to cause a problem.
Really interesting.
That's a pattern
though,
there.
He still hasn't had his like come to Jesus moment. He's still just like, I want the credits I was promised, and I'm going to get out of your hair, and I'm not going to bother you.
I think that she handed him Nemec's manifesto.
And run.
That I think is going to play a role in that.
Gonna be. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Otherwise, they wouldn't have made such a big deal.
Because Nemec made a point to be like, give this to Clem.
Yeah.
Like he knew that Clem was going to be able to gain something from it.
He needs it. Yeah.
And that like that he might be the only one to really be able to. Care.
And that story plays out like the lives of the saints. You know, that sort of biography of this like pure-hearted person who believed like single-mindedly in the cause and like
it's
really
a book of philosophy essentially.
This is a bunch of like ragged guerrilla fighters, and this guy was like really in it for the rebellion before the rebellion as such even exists.
That's really cool to think about. Yeah, because now you know, I was going to call him Clem Cassian. He's gonna read that book now and obviously get moved by it or like care about
which
its
makes
contents.
it in some sense sort of like a document of origin for the rebellion in a way, because Cassian becomes such a central figure.
Almost like a Bible in a way.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
It becomes like an originary document. So, I mean...
And we heard some of he was preaching some of his philosophy to Cassian in the previous episode. A lot of it was the like, you know, you can't... If you have 40 atrocities is like a lot easier to deal with than one atrocity or whatever. He said something like that. I can't remember exactly how he put it, but... that definitely seems like where they're going to be headed with that. Hey, I'm loving it. I'm still loving it.
I'm so into this show.
You know, Luthen there at the end, like just laughing, like
what a good character moment again from Stellan
You know what's funny is because
Skarsgård.
that laughing was him changing into the antiquities dealer when he was previously that, but here
now it's him letting his letting his
and
real
the
self
usually
out.
like steel-faced Luthen was like laughing there. So talking about the mirroring, they're doing a lot of this like flipping things on their head, and that's just plays right into the theme of like there really is no good or bad or
I
like,
love all of it. It's so good.
So juicy, so good. Still so many details, and I'm assuming this was episode 6, and that was kind of like a finale for that arc, if you will. They got this out of the way, so now like either we're going to be returning to Ferrix in the next episode to do another 3-episode arc there, or with that kind of going back to that Bix lady. They made a big point to introduce her as like a potential romantic interest of Cassian's.
Meanwhile,
they
the
killed her
ISB
boyfriend,
is now investigating this entire
and they're going to be going back to
thing,
Ferrix, yeah.
and Karn is still out there with a bug up his butt about Cassian.
Yeah, and we're assuming Karn and Dedra are going to have to link up at some point because they both are
We
same...
kind of hope, because that would be a juicy pairing.
Yeah.
Guys,
this is exciting. I love we got to go to the Senate. Oh man, it was brief, but I loved getting to go back in there, even to see Mon Mothma like talk for a second. That was really cool.
Also, just want to call out the number of times one or both of us said like, "Oh, great shot." During this episode, there were so many like artfully, beautifully
I pointed that out
shots
last episode too. Where
really good cinematography in this episode.
Do a good job of making the scenery be its own character in a way in a lot of places. It's always Star Wars is always made a point to do that, but this they're definitely using the frames. It wasn't just the eye either. There was a lot of really cool things. I even mentioned how I was reminiscing a little bit about the Boba Fett, the Tusken Raider ritual fire dance that they did at the end when he was being inducted into their tribe or whatever, when he built his gaffy stick. There was similarities there that I saw to the, like, obviously...
Yeah, well, they're depicting two different indigenous cultures within the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, doing their, like, traditional cultural thing that they do, and in this case it was like they were observing a celestial event, but, like the dancing around a fire and saying chants and things, and, in their
there was a really
native
beautiful
language.
scene, and I loved how they cut back and forth between,
interweaving
like,
it with
the
chaos.
high energy and the sort of, the chaos of the heist, with this like beautiful joyous celebration and the music and the firelight, and capped off by this incredible meteor shower plus. Like, it was really beautiful how that scene was constructed.
Yeah, and we mentioned like the moment between where it was like, oh, there's good guys and bad guys standing there, and it's a moment of peace where they're kind of...
That's a human
Everybody's
moment where
same.
there's a sense of wonder that's like it's wondrous to the human spirit.
They all had
they
something
can
in
all
common
appreciate
for a
that.
second.
Yeah,
and that is kind of like a overarching thing for the galaxy of like, you know, we're all in this together, even though you're bad guys.
That's what
and
you
we're good
ultimately
guys,
want,
and-
peace, you know?
Yeah. And this is just within this isolated context of this one planet, Aldani, with this one celestial event. Meanwhile, there's an entire galaxy of
Right,
other
there's still
scenarios
the
going on.
Gormans who are having their trade routes cut off and
Yeah.
about to experience some of the same forms of oppression, and you know,
Yeah, for a second there, I thought it was like people in the Senate just like not caring about her thing or whatever. But then it became obvious everyone was like, "Oh, like, it looked
everyone
they
was
were
like
leaving.
checking their iPhones, you know, basically like getting the news.
Yeah. Hey, loving it, guys. Excited. I'm not sure exactly what's gonna happen next, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be going back to Ferrix and getting back on, maybe doing another story arc with the first 3 episodes that we started there. But now that we have the ISB thing going on and the heist has gone down, there will be a few more layers to add on to it. Which is kind of what we were expecting. They're doing little sort of 3-episode arcs, and then those arcs are then building on one another. So if they're 3-episode arcs, that means there'll be 4 of them, and we've completed 2. So now
Yeah.
we're halfway through, and that was like a mid-season finale, and we can kind of like start fresh in a way in the next episode.
Yeah,
So
more or less.
kind of open to whatever next week, which is
Yeah,
exciting.
me too.
Which might also mean that like we just reached like an excitement peak. We might get down to more like base level. We're gonna start a new story now, kind of. Even though we're continuing where we left
I'm
off,
honestly
but-
okay with that. I've been along for the ride this entire time,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm so into
And
this
now all
show.
of the characters have these layers to them that are like, it makes building the story
Yeah.
even more easy and significant. Yeah, loving it, guys. Let us know what you thought about it in the comments below. If you want to see fully unedited reactions, tripped over my tongue there, go over to patreon.com/JediJive. Go check it out. We will see you in the next reaction.
Peace.
Peace.